Hello and welcome. So there's my motorhome. I am at an industrial estate approximately 3 kilometers as the crow flies from the center of Ypres or Ypres, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to say Ypres because I don't speak Dutch. And here we have something very curious. When this industrial estate was being constructed, this trench system was discovered. And so it says here, restored British trench with entrances to a deep dugout 1915 to 1970. I'm going to take you into the trench itself first, and then we're going to have a walk around outside, and sometime during this I'll talk about the Second Battle of Ypres. So it says here, in the entire Ypres area, this site is historically and archaeologically unique. At the same time, the trench and dugout entrances are very fragile. The structure was never meant to survive for decades. The lowering of the groundwater table and exposure to air caused most of the original oak to rot away. In 2023, the top part of the stairs giving access to the dugout were completely renewed. Pending a thorough restoration of the entire trench, the most vulnerable sections were filled with sand. So, now, coming around, I'll give you now some of the background and I'll add a bit to it. So, preserved in the soil throughout the Ypres Salient, the First World War is still present underground. During the construction of the industrial estate from 1997 to 2005, more than 200 bodies were recovered in the area. On this plot, the well-preserved trench structures came to light, and the Association of Amateur Archaeologists, their diggers, was able to descend into an underground shelter. They recorded their initial exploration on film. The site turned out to be an untouched time capsule. The finds moved to the Flanders Fields Museum, which is in the centre of Ypres, and so you can see that there. It's absolutely bang in the centre of Ypres, that one. So the Great War, so we can see here, so unfortunately there's snow on it. A Franco-British trench was created in the aftermath of the Second Battle of Ypres, 22nd of April to 25th of May 1915. This was a small communications trench, single file to Irish Bridge, a footbridge over the canal. So on the other side of there, there's a canal. It's about, what, 400 meters or so from here. And in July 1916, a new trench was constructed named Yorkshire Trench after the home region of the British 49th West Riding Division that served in this sector during the second half of 1915. In the spring of 1917, a deep dugout was built onto this trench at a depth of 10 metres. This served as a battalion headquarters for 2 battalions of the 38th Welsh Division. From here they launched an attack on Pickham, 31st July 1917. That's the start of the Third Battle of Ypres, better known as Passchendaele to many. So we see here the course of this trench as a shallow ditch. There's a rough cartoon of it, and now we're going to go into this trench itself. Trenches. The first trenches were very shallow and often flooded due to the Ypres clay layer. Duckboards sank into the mud. Heavy rainfall only made conditions worse. A new construction method provided solution from 1916 onwards. Duckboards were henceforth laid out on A-frames. The space underneath provided drainage. The new trench was constructed according to this method. There you have it. So there you have the A-frame with the duckboards going across. Now it's going to be a bit slippy. I'm holding the camera, well, it's a telephone actually, in my hand, so I have to be careful. So we go down, but this it is, as it said, very shallow. So communications trench, but it is really very shallow. Now here you can see got these dugouts that went inside. We're not going to get very far on this one because it's full of water. In fact, there's 2 and they're both full of water. And yeah, right, so I can't quite see how deep this is, but it's originally, obviously, it would have gone quite a long way deep underground. Now just think of the amount of effort and work that went into constructing these things, in the clay, and also with the danger around. Oops. And here I'm going to have to jump down. Oh, I'm going to keep the hold of the camera, okay. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. So we can see though here where the space there for the A-frame would have gone on there. Now in Ypres, everywhere you go today, reminders of what was happening all over the place. Cemeteries. Yesterday I attended the last post. It's a ceremony held at the Menin Gate. Every day for the past, except during the occupation of the Second World War, every day since I think 1919 it's been held there. And here we have a deeper, I think all the wood as well that's been used to do things like this. So they're looking into the shelter. Today is the 5th of January, so that's why it's like this. And I've been thinking, I mean, the poor soldiers in these conditions. I mean, today we've got this, our clothing, it's water repellent, but then the water actually soaked into their clothing, and it wouldn't have it'd given them next to no protection at all from the cold. As you can see here, the trench from the top, and we can also see here some of the communications which trenches where they around it. So it was quite deep. Now here also you see where these square things are. Let's go and have a look at that first, and then I'll say something about the Second Battle of Ypres. So we've got these here bits that jutted out. So a bunker room. Now this is all underground. It would have been there though. Bunker room. Another bunker room. Bunker room. Bunker room. So you see all of these rooms. Underground quarter. In the grass, the corridors and chambers of the dugout are indicated by dolomite surfaces. The front chamber is located under the current road. Within the contours archaeological survey plan, the British cartoonist Dave Chisholm sketched a vivid picture of life underground. So around 180 such dugouts were built in the Ypres Salient. To keep them dry and wet soil, pumping had to be done continuously. After the successful attack 31st of July 1917, the pumps were left unmanned, dugout filled up with water. Thus the entire installation was salvaged underground. And I think this one, no, pump room's over here, I think. Carpenter's workshop, so they must have had a lot of work for the carpenters here. And here's the pump room, so the pump pumping out water all the time. We'll have a look at it from the top. Now, the Second Battle of Ypres was the first time that gas was used on the Western Front. Now, it was first used on the Eastern Front. I have video from there, from Bollymouth, and you can, I'll put a link below to the video from the place it was first used on the Eastern Front. And the Eastern Front stood, although it was far more moved a lot more, but from the winter of 1914-15 until the summer of 1915, it more or less stood in the same place, whereas here the lines hardly moved at all. Now, gas was used, but the thing was this: they had to wait. Initial preparations were made, and the thing was this: they had to wait. And because at the time this was the battles around Przemysl in Galicia, so troops were moved away and they were moved to the Eastern Front. By the time the conditions were right, the wind and all the rest of it, and the canisters, everything was in place, too many troops had been moved away. The Germans also didn't believe the success. What happened here? There was French colonial divisions. They scattered. They were understandably they scattered, and whereas there was suddenly a huge gap. So a huge amount of chlorine was used. This was reported to the French beforehand. Was 2 German deserters even showed them the gas masks that they'd been issued with, very primitive gas masks, but this was ignored. And anyway, a huge gap appeared. German troops, with the gas protection they'd been issued, they were supposed to advance, but they didn't really exploit the opportunity. And then, due to the Canadians on one side, they actually held back. The Germans just didn't advance. It was the same as at Cambrai, for example. 2 years later, there's a major advance in a technology, but they can't exploit it because they can't believe the success that it's led to. I've just here, because you've got the trench down here, remember the dugout, and so here we've got the entrance here, so this all goes up down there like that. So that was the way in, and then you get into the other buildings, the other dugouts I should say, around the side. Now I'm going to go to the location where the first gas attack was actually made, not so far from here. In fact, I might even walk there, because I'm nicely parked right now to go and see it. I'm also planning on going to the place where Hitler was gassed as well. I thought that'd be a nice addition to the videos I've done on Hitler in World War One, and particularly Parseval, what he wrote in Mein Kampf as well. Anyway, there you go. This is First World War rediscovered trenches. There's a television program, the name of which I've forgotten, but it was I think it was on BBC actually. Again, I can't remember. It was around 2002, and they showed this actually being dug up. Somebody will know. Somebody can leave the name. I know you can't leave links in. Well, not you shouldn't be able to leave links in YouTube descriptions. But what you can do is, if you know the name of the television program, which I can't remember, then write it down below, and then other people can see it as well, should they be interested. But really great deal of thanks. And I must say, for the Belgian people, the population of Ypres has shown incredible gratitude to those that died here. I mean, it's horrendous death toll here, but this the gratitude comes out everywhere, you see, and what they've actually done to keep alive the memories of those people who fought here in Belgium. Let's just have a final look at this thing here. Now you've seen what it looks like. So here we've got the trench down there. There's the entrance, and so you go down some stairs, and then you've got all these dugouts down here. There's a gunsmith's room, bunk room, command post. Sorry, I didn't show you the command post. Another command post, staircase down. But this troglodyte existence, living underground like this, pretty horrific, really. So thanks very much for being with me here today in Belgium. I hope you found that interesting. I'm going to try and do some more. I'm currently on my way to Stuttgart. So in this trip, what my plan is so I'm going to hang around in this area, and then I'm going to go I'm going to go see a place called Chenogne, where there was a massacre of German prisoners of war by the Americans. So I've already did a video on the massacre at Malmedy, showing the route which Piper's SS took, and I also did a video on the Verret 11, showed the location of where these Afro-American soldiers were murdered. So that's the plan of this journey right now. But I find this all very, very moving, and as I said, when I think of it, it's just the conditions that feeling this cold today. I mean, it's quite it's not very pleasant. It's about -3 now. So anyway, okay, good. So anyway, I upload every day now, 20 hours. Tuesdays and Fridays I'll put up longer videos, which might be something like this. It's a location video. Also got videos of me talking to the camera, sometimes of me talking to the camera, which is live, so people interact in real time. And I've got documentary videos as well. And for the documentary video, might even do one on the first gas attack. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. But I will do something on Fritz Heber, who was in charge of the gas warfare. He was somebody, incidentally, whose possibly his own family were murdered by gas. He was Jewish, and I suspect part of his family, who came from Wrocław, or Breslau as it was then, were murdered by the Nazis in gas chambers. I think it's likely anyway. So anyway, all that for later. Thanks very much. Bye for now.